Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining us on Liberty Risk Podcast. As you can see, fucking Hugh bailed on us tonight. He wimped out. He's in bed. He's tired. He had to get some rest. But I just attribute it to he went out fucking power drinking after fucking work today, which is probably the most common fucking thing that he does. But he's not going to be here with us tonight, but I am joined here with Adam Franklin and Danique Masingill. Everyone, you guys know Danique. Danique's been on the show. She's hosted part of the show for us for a few years now. But thank you guys for joining us. How you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Excited to be back. It's been a while.
Yes, absolutely. So real quick, I just wanted to get into for Liberty Risk, what we're doing is I just kind of want to remind everyone we're not doing this weekly anymore. This is kind of every 2 or 3 times a month. But something new today that I was actually excited about, Spotify is kind of changing it up. They're actually going to be competing with YouTube. So everyone knows that we're mainly on Spotify. So we're super excited about that because they're taking the long video format and they're going to be optimizing it. So it's going to be pretty awesome because you can catch us on the YouTube also, but Spotify is going to be doing some pretty amazing things here. I was digging into the content creator stuff today, so it was kind of a little mind numbing, but I got to do that workaround. But again, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. So Adam,
sir,
this has been trying to get set up for a little bit now. Danique has been trying to mesh this together for us. You're actually out at the farm right now.
Right now we're arms length away. Currently.
Yeah. We don't want to have any. What'd you say, Danique? Any video feedback or fucking echoing if we were sitting in the same room? We haven't figured that tech out yet since we're all in different locations. But so Adam, I just really want to just ask you what organization you with?
So I recently started a company called Feral Dynamics, based out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, and essentially my business is focused around pet dog training, service dog training, and educational seminars. That can vary from bite seminars to electric collar educational seminars. We have a canine medical seminar that we're currently in the middle of planning right now. So a lot of exciting things coming up on that end.
That's awesome. So you said for pet training, kind of explain that to me. Is that just like if I got a dog that I got from the pound and I'm like, hey, this thing's fucking crazy. Hey,
pretty
Adam,
much, man. Pretty much.
That's bro. Like, hook me up. Like,
that's essentially what it is. So essentially, it's just basic pet obedience. Anywhere from the simple sit down, stay, come, heel, that jargon to some behavior transformation stuff. And essentially just taking dogs. The name Feral Dynamics. I floated that around for a while, and it was kind of a newer concept. My branding being turning dogs from feral to friendly. It's kind of the route I'm going, right? So you take this feral beast and we connect and do our thing, and then you have a nice, friendly household pet that gets along with everyone and makes your life, a little bit easier.
Oh, that's absolutely needed because even my daughter, I don't know how many times we've taken whiskey out, around the neighborhood, and you got these fucking clowns and these dogs are like dragging this old lady behind me. Fucking asshole. She watches this shit. 65-pound fucking lady. She's half dead. She got a fucking 200-pound German Shepherd and dragging her down the fucking road and trying to eat everything that's around her.
You know what, man? So it's a common problem, and it's kind of a simple problem. At the end of the day, really, what do people get dogs for? They get them to have a companion, right?
Absolutely,
a buddy to hang out with. So my job's not to make you have a nice, pretty show dog. It's to have a buddy that can hang out and make your life less stressful, right? That's really what we all care about.
No, 100%. I mean, it's just, when you have a dog in your life, it's unconditional love. They just, especially the real good ones, they just want to be around, or the well-trained ones, in your case, they just want to be around you and just, give you that love. And they want that, they want to receive that love too. Like, Danique, how many times have I told you that whiskey has not just changed my life, but also changed the life for my girls? You know what I mean? It's such an amazing thing being a single dad. Of two girls has always been a challenge, and then
God bless you.
Yeah, Like, and I literally, there's so much alcohol in my fucking house just on reserves, just for pop-up emergencies. But then Danique gives me whiskey. Whiskey's a fucking female dog too, so it's just like there's more estrogen in this house than I know what to do with. It's just ridiculous. But no, that's awesome, Adam. I mean, that's something that, you know what also too is it's very the people out there that say they can train dogs is like the scary part, I guess, for me. You know, and I can see the smirk on your face. You know, you have those people. It's like, oh yeah, I've had dogs my whole life. I'll teach you how to keep your pet calm and everything will be good. But you got to pay me $10,000, and then the fucking like, but bring the dog to my facility and leave it here for 8 weeks, and then you come back and the dog's like emaciated and fucking half dead, and they don't know what's going on. So you talked about pet training, right? And then you talk about service dogs. What's that look like for you? How does that get incorporated?
Yeah, so that's actually a new venture, and just part of my backstory. Service dog training was never in that mix until I'd say the past year.
Okay.
Known about it, been around it, been interested in it, and then it wasn't really until Danique and I connected several years ago that I really kind of stuck out to me a little bit, and I gained an interest in it, and then earlier this year when I decided to kind of branch out and do my own thing, it definitely got highlighted not only for my own personal sake, but I saw the effect it had on everyone around me, right? You can almost see an immediate result with that type of dog, whether it's the task-oriented dogs or just, the dogs laying on you at night because you're having a panic attack. That's real. That's a real thing. And so for me, those immediate, that immediate rewarding and fulfilling, aspects from the dog training side just really drew me to it. So now Danique and I, started working very closely together and have some projects in the works that we're going to come up with and continue working these dogs together. That's why I'm here right now. Doing some joint. She's a pretty fair boss, I'd say. She's got her.
Are you saying this because we're on camera? I mean, we can talk off camera and tell me the real truth.
You don't need to stare in the camera. Yes, it's very fun, guys.
Blink twice if you're in distress.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Blink if you need help.
No, it's a lot of fun. It's very fulfilling for me. It makes I told Danique this morning, it makes my heart happy, and that's kind of where I'm at in life, is just finding stuff that makes my heart happy, and I can see the immediate result helping other people as well. Yeah,
I mean, isn't that the purpose? Find something that you love and then be able to do it for the rest of your life. You know what I mean?
So I heard I think you'll appreciate this. Yeah, I heard a quote. I can't remember exactly how long ago it was, but you familiar with Gary Vee?
Oh yeah, Gary Vee.
Oh yeah. So he was on Joe Rogan. He was on Joe Rogan, I don't know, 5-ish years ago. I heard a quote.
Yep.
And it said, if you're lucky enough to be good at what you love, get fucking tunnel vision. And that has stuck with me. That has stuck with me. I've got that saved. I got that saved on my phone. That's been a quote that has resonated with me in different aspects of life, but definitely with the dog training. Kind of identifying exactly what I'm drawn to. And I've been blessed and fortunate to be pretty much around every aspect of dog training. So I've gotten to see all the different ins and outs of it. And so when Danique and I started working together, and seeing, how these dogs were affecting other people, and then, working around some women, seeing how I had an immediate change as well. Certain little dogs affected me in a positive way. So that definitely hooked me.
So before we get into how you two got connected, for this collaboration, and you said you've been around dogs and you've been around all types of, training and everything. Kind of explain that to me, Adam. How did that start for you, and when did it start? Was it something in the last 10 years? Did it start when you were a little kid? How does that look?
So I was pretty much born in a kennel. I've been around dogs since birth. My father has a business, Cobra Canine, that he's had since before I was born. Everything from started as pet dogs in our garage and single purpose bomb dogs to some of the highest top tier military contracts on the planet, right? So I've been very blessed and fortunate to be around every aspect, really since early childhood, since before I can remember. So the work started early. My first time at a bite sleeve, I was probably 7 or 8 years old. Helping doing detection boxes and just being a little distraction running around while the pet dog training was happening. And then once I got into the teenage years, that started the earn your place in clinic kennels and that fun stuff. And I'll tell everyone that was probably the most gratifying. It sounds silly. Most gratifying thing is being able to go in and clean those kennels and make sure our dogs are safe, happy, social, all the things. So I earned respect for that early on as a teenager. And then right out of high school, I started working really full time on some different military contracts for the Navy. Same time doing police, military handler courses and stuff like that, and just doing stuff for different agencies. And we'd have different contracts with South American agencies and some in Europe. Globally, global contracts. So we were running 30, 40 dogs at a time in and out. So my favorite question is, well, how many dogs you train? I couldn't tell you. Couldn't even guess how many dogs I've been around.
Yeah, it's not like you're keeping a check sheet or something like that.
I couldn't, and I feel bad because there's some people that I met 10 years ago that we got a dog or they got a dog from us. I'm like, I couldn't tell you. No idea.
Cool. Awesome.
Hope they're doing well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're moving forward in the industry, and you're constantly, if you've been doing this since you said you were born in a kennel. If you've been doing this since birth, it's kind of hard to keep track of that and moving. That's such a weird question. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, how many have you trained? And I don't fucking know. How many stars are in the sky? I don't fucking know.
Well, because we like to compare stuff. So I don't have a comparison. I don't have a comparison. I couldn't tell you. I've trained more than I could count. God's blessed me with being able to put hands on as many dogs as most people will, across the country have combined. So, it's been a very fortunate ride that I've been on, and I've worked, different military contracts and stuff. And now I'm being a real adult and branching out and kind of doing some different aspects of the dog training side.
Awesome. So, yeah, from everything you've been saying so far, like service dogs to me is such a big step. It's such a different dynamic, at least from the outside looking in, from, what you were explaining, law enforcement, military, stuff like that. And then you have this dog. So you're going from a dog that's working, right? It's a working dog, and it's there, Danique, I go back to Steve, because it's really my first part of it. Our good friend Steve, God rest his soul. There were times when we'd be on the base during the bullshit that we dealt with at Mayport, and I'd fucking have to call, Steve, I fucking need you over here, dude. And he'd be like, what I'm not working. I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck. Like, get in the truck and get the dog and let's get Dingo and let's figure some shit out, dude. But it was cool to watch him. I had the opportunity my first experience with it was the military, in the Navy. And Steve was like, hey, you want to put the bite sleeve on? I'm like, sure. No fucking idea what was about to happen next. And I see this fur missile coming at me. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
And fucking locks onto me. And I'm like, it's like, Jesus, why did I make this decision? Oh my God, go back in the patrol car. This is why you don't have these fucking things. So like the bite suit work, I got the opportunity to watch you do that very recently, which I appreciate you, letting me and my daughters come out there. Danique, thank you so much for the invite, both of you. But I do have to say, Adam, like that part of it, we have friends there that were in the bite suits, and to me, is my big ass. No, I don't give a fuck. You could put $1 million in front of me. Be like, hey, we want you to put on the suit. Be like, that's fucking cute. I'm not doing it.
Hey, have you ever been skydiving?
Adam, we've met. Do I look like a skydiving body? Does this look like something?
I don't know where you're like, man. They might make.
You're like, we don't have a harness for you, bro. It's not
okay. What's the most? What's the highest? Adrenaline rush you've had in a fun way?
Shooting.
Not shooting. Well, in a fun way. Oh fuck! I was gonna say, does combat count? But no.
It
really, if you want to go dark, it's gonna be like,
no.
I can't even joke with that. No, I went bungee jumping one time, and that was fucking absolutely bonkers. Like I was like, because you're free falling, and you're like, I hope this fucking rubber man don't snap. This would suck.
Yeah. So so I hope that rubber band doesn't snap. I hope this dog doesn't bite me in the face. It's the same
Yeah.
feeling, right? But you love it and
Oh,
you get addicted to it and you want to do it over and
yeah.
over again. And then you do it, over and over and over again with a bunch of different dogs, and then becomes second nature.
Yeah, because you do. I will say one thing, and just from watching your socials and seeing you in person, you do it. I mean, I know you've been doing this for literally your whole life, but you make it look. You're like, yeah, there's a dog on my fucking arm, and this is how you catch the dog, and this is what happens. And I'm just like, because my oldest daughter, she was thrilled. She thought she was in a classroom. She's like raising her hand. I'm like, just fucking ask them the question.
She did. No, that was awesome that they were there.
No, it was. And she still, bless her heart, she still talks about it. She's like, it's something that she still pokes questions at. My kids love Danique and look up to her. And, it's something that, maybe down the line, you never know. She loves animals, she's horses and stuff like that and dogs. But I do have to say during that seminar in Virginia Beach, I do have to say, I got to give you kudos, give you props. The way you did the instruction, honestly, was just top tier. It was, I was extremely impressed. Just coming from like an instructor type of community from when I was in the military and having to teach people, junior sailors and stuff like this on such a constant basis, it gets frustrating, sometimes. And I'm not one I like being behind a camera. I can't be in front of a crowd. This is my safe space. You know what I mean? Like you put me on a fucking stage, like I'm fucked. I'm like, hi, my name's Billy, and I know some things, but you were calm, cool, and collected. And what I noticed most is after each bite, before and after, you took time to really thoroughly explain in detail what to expect, how this is going to happen, how you should position yourself, especially for the people who are new to it, right? That were in the suits, making sure that they had and correct me if I'm wrong, like the catch techniques down correctly, because you could hurt yourself or the dog. And that was the biggest thing that I took away from that. I didn't even, just watching, I'm like, I never thought of that shit. What if the person moved the wrong way and they fall on the dog and you break the dog's legs? Because you know what I mean? Like any of that could happen, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And that's something that, my experience comes into play there, right? So I've been around it and done it for a lot of years, and I've seen a lot of highs and a lot of lows with it. So I've got a lot of experience in being able to tell you through trial and error what works and doesn't work. And again, that blessed and fortunate life I've grown up in, I've gotten a mass quantity of dogs thrown my way. So the psychological part, through those repetitions, has now become second nature, right? So being able to read the dogs, being able to psychologically figure out this animal in front of me, I feel very connected to dogs with. I feel like I'm part dog sometimes, part wolf. There's some sort of little spirituality connection there, but yeah. And then the instruction side of it, I mean, it's kind of like anything else in life, right? The clear, concise communication. And it's the same thing that we tell handlers how to communicate with the dog, right? Clear, concise communication. Humans are no different. Human psychology and dog psychology is really not a whole lot different. We're different species, but if you really break it down, the psychological part of it's not a whole lot different. And certain aspects. I studied with Duke University back in 2016. Dr. Brian Hare puts on it's called Canine Cognition and Emotions course. And it's actually free online. Anyone can take it. Look that up. Dr. Brian Hare, Duke University. It's a really, really great course. And that honestly got me really hooked on the psychology part of it. It got me really in depth in, okay, so this is how this animal's brain works. And once I could kind of figure that out, that side of it, the rest of it became easy. Being able to almost think about what they're doing or what they're going to do before they do it. Right.
Yeah.
And then through that, building a pattern within their training I know the exact steps, exact line this dog's going to take. I know when this dog's going to jump, when it's going to launch, all those things. So that taking that part of the equation, then going, okay, now we got the dog side, right? Now we got this human factor that is even worse to teach. It's even worse to teach. Yeah, I think we all can agree humans are it's funny. Most of my clients have really picked up on this quick that humans are 75% of the training. The dogs are easy. It's us that fuck it up. That's truthfully. So, and I've messed up training more than everyone combined. So, yeah. And, for me, I think the part that stuck with me that you just said about being able to communicate the safety and the basic fundamentals of stuff, I think that's a lost art within dog training, is getting back to the roots of, hey, why don't we just do the basics really, really well, and then everything else we're trying to do all the fun stuff, all the cool guy stuff, then that stuff becomes so much easier. We can actually elevate the training.
Yeah.
How many times did Barry Bonds hit off a baseball tee? Every single day. Every single day, right?
Yeah, because you have to, no matter what you're doing, you have to start at the basics. If you don't have the basics as your foundation, we'll take my sister. She played pro ball. I've mentioned this before, and she teaches the Nike women's basketball camps, across the country. And I don't know how many times I have heard her yell at girls, the basics. It's about the basics. I don't give a fuck about these fancy layups and this shit. If you can't get the basics down, you won't play. And it really holds true to anything you're doing. So, I mean, even in the canine community, I mean, whether you're doing military, service dog, whatever it is, if you don't have the basics, I mean, it really, you can't do the fun stuff, right? That's really what it comes down to.
And then when you do the fun stuff, then you're more likely to injure yourself, injure the dog, and then none of it's fun. So.
Yeah, no, especially, emotions run high and stuff like that. We were talking about, adrenaline rush, right? So I can only imagine someone, fucking hurt the dog, like hurt the dog, you know what I mean? Or got hurt themselves. That adrenaline rush it's overwhelming. It's definitely overwhelming. So yeah, the foundations for the basics are definitely key. Yep. Definitely key. So Danique, since we have watched you sit over there on my left side of the screen, right? Is that right for everybody? The left side of the fucking screen? Yep. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I got to put my hands up. Yeah, left side of the screen. Okay, cool deal. So, Danique, I'm going to let you go. How did you and Adam, how did this happen? How did between the Hero Academy and Feral Dynamics, how did that merge?
All right. Well, actually, we're going to get anybody caught up that's new that Billy and I actually served together in the Navy a long time ago. And so he's referencing another person.
20 plus years. Oh, God, we're so old.
So we were military police or master at arms together. So we were fondly referred to as the E5 Mafia back then. So that's how we go way back. And then the person, Steve, he mentioned, who was a canine handler.
E5.
Who originally is one of the big reasons I'm in the industry now. Yes. Fast forward a few years later, I have this dog I'm washing out that's too high drive, named Atlas. And I go to this organization that repurposes dogs for law enforcement. And I'd processed a few other dogs through them in previous years. So I reached out and said, hey, I have a floppy-eared dog, which are often not easy to get for agencies that want the better PR or customer service look with a non-pointy eared dog. So having a high drive floppy eared dog that passed like the initial assessment, I reached out and they're like, oh yeah, and we actually have this phenomenal new trainer. This company took us on as like their charity. So bring the dog out. And so I bring Atlas to them. They bring him to Adam, but I hadn't met Adam yet. So then when Adam's done training the dog, we have like this, official turnover ceremony to the department the dog's being donated to. So that's when I got to meet Adam in Virginia Beach. And for me, so to point out a few things, I am not from that side of the world. I do service dogs. So except for Steve, 20 something years ago, I've not dabbled on the working dog side for a long time. So I came in as a novice, meaning I know what to send, like that I have talent, but I don't know how the magic happens on what Adam did to that dog. However, how he was as an instructor to me, he wasn't condescending, very informative, knew how to talk to another person and basically translate. So that was the first time it stood out. And then we'd seen each other at a couple seminars, so we got to connect a lot more. And again, his style of teaching to me stood out. and then actually sent my assistant to a seminar I couldn't go to, basically just to check out how everybody's instructing. And then she brought back really insightful feedback on how Adam was as a second person, meaning not in the suit, but the person walking the canine team toward the suit, and how he manipulated the handler and what the handler was feeding through the leash to control the dog before it ever went toward the suit. So the manipulation of the entire team and how he psychologically affected basically the person getting out of their own head, you could literally see the dog change. So that was, because on the service dog side, we talk a lot about what feeds through the leash. So it was very insightful. So hence, Adam moves back east a year ago, and we reconnect because he was working on the West Coast with whatever special operations dog stuff happens over there. Now he's on the entrepreneurship journey, and of course we have the potato dog. So we got a chance to reconnect. And from there, he has a tremendous amount of talent, and I run the Hero Academy. We're all in volunteer organization, and we're completely donation based. So when we have top tier talent knocking at our door saying, hey, I'd love to help and see what the other side of canine looks like, what I call the softer, gentler side. So he's, we're collaborating on things like the first aid and canine CPR course, because we now do facility dogs at major agencies and police departments. So they all have to have a first aid and canine CPR course, because we now collaborate with what's called crisis response canines, and they are a very specific national certification that requires all kinds of courses of the handlers. So Adam's going to start teaching our first aid and CPR courses. He's also giving us or collaborating on an e-collar course, because we do use all 4 quadrants is what it's called in dog training.
Not to cut you off, wasn't my dog on one of them at one point?
Yes, Whiskey was. And Whiskey is a shelter dog, and then she was also repurposed or repoed from a previous handler.
Yeah, let's call it what it is. She was fucking repoed.
Yeah.
We'll get into that story later, because
if I'm ever in your driveway unannounced, it's not good news if you're one of my
Oh God,
I'm not there to celebrate.
No, it's hand me the fucking leash and don't say shit. Yeah.
And that's happened a few times. But anyway, Whiskey was repurposed. And then we paired her with you, and she did her job for the years you needed her, and then transitioned to your girls. And it's always interesting to see how these things develop.
No, it's pretty amazing. For the people that don't know, you were talking about the leash, feeding through the leash. What does that mean? Just for the people that are listening that don't understand, what does that mean?
I mean, theoretically, it's not literally through the leash, but
no, absolutely.
Your dog feeds off of you. So if you are hyper vigilant, or if you start being anxious, your heart rate changes. The smell of stress or fear. So your sweat smell is different. And your dog is reading all of this different information. So it's a lot of nonverbal information that is coming at your dog as things change. Heart rate shift. There's little mannerisms, even just how you certain muscle tensions you do, how you carry yourself. All that information basically feeds back. So a dog could become much more reactive or relaxed based on what the person's feeling. Like, oh shit, bro, did you see something? Like, I feel it too. Like you could feed off of each other depending on what type of dog you have.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's crazy to watch, from my side of it. I guess, from the non-trainer being, the person who needs a service dog. It's such a, I remember, and I've told the story so many times, but it's funny, for those that don't know. Again, Danique and I have known each other for 20 plus years, and I was sitting on her front porch one day. We were all hanging out. It was so funny. I just told my father asked how Whiskey was doing, because we're going there for Thanksgiving. He goes, "You bringing the dog?" I said, "Yeah, Dad." He goes, "Good. I'm taking her for a day. I'm going to spend some time with her." I'm like, "Okay, listen, Paisan, calm the fuck down. All right, everything will be okay. You'll be good." But he was asking how you guys were doing. How you and Matt and everyone were doing, and he asked me. He goes, I forget. Tell me how you got the dog again. Like, what brought you to the dog? He goes, I think I remember. He's getting old. You know, his fucking Alzheimer's kicking in. But it's funny. I was sitting on Danique's front porch. It was at night. We were all hanging. We were just hanging out. I think I had a couple too many. I'm not gonna lie about it. We were talking about something, and I was fidget. I was like fucking all over the place. And Danique walked across the front porch, grabbed me by the face, and goes, "Fill out the fucking application. You need a fucking dog." And I went, yes, ma'am. Like, yes, ma'am. What did I do? Like 4 days later, you had the application. It was so you scared me. That's what happened. You scared me into getting a service dog.
She's good at that. She's good at that.
Kidding. No, but she recognized, like, you don't see it in yourself. I think people with service dogs, you don't see it in yourself. I feel it's always someone. I could be wrong. I feel it's someone that recommends it or suggests it to you, or you see someone with a service dog and go, "Hey, how's that doing for you, bro? You need to get one. It's changed my life." Whatever it is. I would never have thought to ask for a service dog. Even watching you through the organizations, I would never have thought that. So it's a lot. I mean, Adam, for you getting into it, and I know you're seeing it. It's such a life-changing experience from this end. My co-host Hugh also, let's call it what it is. Like, I don't know if Hugh would fucking be here if it wasn't for Guinness. Like, really, let's call. I mean, right, Danique? Like, yeah. Guinness is everything to Hugh. Everything, and just people we know. It's. I don't need her as much, and I think the last year we've kind of noticed this. I don't need her as much. I don't bring her out as much. The RV industry, when I was in there, also kind of changed that dynamic because I couldn't bring her to work because I was constantly on that black asphalt, for 8 hours a day, and I just couldn't have her out there, and I couldn't just leave her inside. But I've taken her out less and less. Like, she was at work with me today. She fucking loved it. She sat by my desk. I was having a shit day. She jumped up in my lap, like jumped all the way up in my lap, which I thought was funny, and just kind of like nestled her head on my chest. And I kind of, all right, fucker, I'm hearing what you're saying. I got it. All right, I'll shut the computer off for a minute. Let me take my 15 and we'll go for a walk and just kind of calm the fuck down. And I went back inside. She gave me a look like, yeah, bitch, I got you. And like went in the corner, fucking laid down. But the rest of my day was awesome. So I think it's really for those out there that maybe have toyed around with the idea or not too sure about it. I think it's something you should always consider. But the other thing that comes with it too, we'll go back into the repo part of it. You have to be a fucking adult and realize, yeah, this dog might change my life, but can I care for the dog properly? That's the biggest thing that pisses me the hell off. Is not caring for the dog. One, I just mentioned this to you, Danique, a couple of weeks ago. I hear Matt in the back of my head. Don't let your fucking dog get fucking fat. Stop feeding. Don't you make a plate. Don't give the dog a plate.
Food is not love. Food is not love.
Thank you. And that's something I had to teach the girls. I showed them, like, just very simple. I said, go get the dog food bag. Go get it. They're like, okay. I was like, how much does whiskey weigh? 48 pounds. Okay. Find 48 pounds on the back of the bag. What's right here? How much food does it say to give the dog? 4.5 cups. That's all she's fucking getting.
She gets 4.5 cups?
Uh-huh. For the sensitive skin and coat. 4 to 4.5 cups of food.
How much she weigh?
48 pounds. Oh, no, 52 pounds now.
You need it. Like,
I bet she does weigh 52 now.
Really? You want to see her? Because she's skinny as shit.
I'm seeing her this weekend.
You'll see her tomorrow. You'll be like, oh, you're right.
She might be on
another podcast, and you're going to apologize to me. Anyway.
Right. I will apologize if I'm wrong. If not, you're going to come out on your next podcast and tell everybody about it.
She's fucking elegant. She's a fucking athlete.
Does she have a waistline? When you look from the top
Man, that was a long pause. That's a long pause, Billy.
Yes, she does. because I told you my vet said she's one of the best looking dogs, and they took photos of her to show the other people.
You did tell me that.
Yeah. Here. Okay, I got you though. Watch this. Did doctors ever tell new parents that their babies are ugly?
No.
You think a vet?
A good.
Look at his face right now. He's like,
and I have no idea.
Go to the extent to take photos.
I'm just saying.
All right, Adam. You know what? Fuck you. Anyway, I'm cutting the video. Thanks, Adam. It was great to have you on here at Click. Anyway, Danique, let's go back to our conversation.
Let's talk about fat dogs. Not fat dogs.
She's not fat. We're not doing this. I'm going to take photos tomorrow at the fucking farm, and or on Saturday. Sorry, because it's Thursday, not Friday. So, all right. Anyway, whiskey's not fat. We're moving forward from this.
All right. What else you want to talk about?
So, actually, Adam, what's it? My biggest thing is the seminars. What are the seminars like? What are they based around? Because you did bring that up, that you're holding seminars, and you've kind of hit different facets of canine training. And what do the seminars focus on? Or do you have them scheduled out for the year? And kind of, also, how can people find them? Or,
sure.
And kind of, let's kind of talk about that and see how you can sign up for it if you need that, or how that whole thing works.
Absolutely. So yeah. So right now I have some freedom and flexibility to kind of create my own baselines with stuff. So what I found was that there's just a pure lack of education amongst every area of the dog industry. I think it's pretty common knowledge that just education is just not there, right? Mm-hmm. So my life purpose right now is taking everything that's up here and saying, how can I disperse that in an effective and efficient way to the masses? So right now I'm putting on everything from simple dog psychology seminars where it's fun PowerPoint in the classroom and we can sit and talk dog minds, to like you got to see, which was a decoy workshop, meaning that I'm teaching new or inexperienced people how to catch dogs safely in a suit. I have similar ones I'm doing. I have one next weekend actually with some higher level people that have done it a few times but now want to get a little more advanced, work a few dogs. I had similar last weekend that was basically 30 dogs. It was around 30 dogs. And it was me in the suit primarily, just working dogs and just problem solving with different people. We had some dogs there were some sport dogs, some law enforcement dogs. We had just civilian dogs working some behavioral stuff. Yeah, so it really, how they come about, it's either I come up with the concept and pick a free weekend, or I have people that reach out and I take requests, and if it works out and we get scheduled and stuff aligned, then I'm open to that as well.
Let me add something in here, actually. The other reason Adam and I started these collaborations is also, and Billy, you know this, the wait list for service dogs is exorbitantly long at most organizations. And we call it starving at the feast, meaning there's all these organizations helping all of these military veterans, and nothing against us military veterans. We deserve these service dogs. But PTSD is not an exclusive thing.
No.
There's plenty of people in the community for all kinds of medical reasons that need service dogs. And we get asked all the time. So I already donate my time to the Hero Academy, and we do all of that without receiving pay, and we can't accommodate the need. So the other reason Adam is also kind of collaborating with us is because of his level of expertise on the dog training side, but also he has years of experience training handlers, which again, Billy, is its own finesse. Yes. Not only creating a dog, but then you're attaching a dog and a person with a disability, and you're sending them out into the big wide world without you to live life. So not only do you have to trust the quality of the product, but you also have to marry that to a handler and explain to them and teach them how to use this tool. So it's not like I would just trust anybody as a referral.
Yeah, so absolutely.
You can reach out to that if you want to train your own service dog, or you're not eligible for most organizations in this country, which, it is unfortunate, but there's a lot of people that need service animals. Adam Franklin and Feral Dynamics is really where you can probably get your training needs accommodated for a service animal without falling through the cracks. So that's really the big collaboration we're looking to do, is help more people access service dogs too.
That's such a big thing. Just, it kind of goes back to what I said earlier, just because of how life-changing it is. But it's also, it comes down to the person. I kind of want to reiterate that, just because personally, I know I keep talking about Whiskey and my dog, but my dog was a repo dog. The handler that's had the dog before just wasn't fit to be the handler. Like, it just shouldn't have had it. And that happens. It happens. And, you guys noticed that, and you got the dog back, and thank God you did, because she's home. You know what I mean? Like, she's home, she's where she belongs, and she's life-changing. But I really, really want to make that, from my end, from a handler's side, very clear. Like, if you have a doubt that you're not ready to have a dog, that you can't financially care for it, you can't care for its health, it's like having another child. So, like, I have 2 daughters, but I have 3 kids, is what it comes down to, because there's cost that comes behind this. There's organizations that might help, but that's if they have the means to do it. You can't just live that life with your hand out. You have to take the responsibility as the adult, as the handler, to care for this beautiful animal, this beautiful dog, because they can't do that part of it without you. That I have to make very, very clear, because I know the 3 of us here right now have all seen the ugly side of that too. And that really breaks your heart, and it's gut wrenching. And it, quite frankly, pisses me the fuck off. When let's talk about, like the shit we were talking, the pit bull you just put up there from Hurricane, people are leaving dogs.
Yeah. Anybody looking to adopt a sweet pit bull named Stella, she was dropped on I-40 in Sevierville, Tennessee. She's a Hurricane Helene puppy. She is sweet as can be. I actually met her myself. We did not take her out of county right away to make sure if somebody wanted to reclaim her, they could. So DM the show if you're interested. She's still available.
Yep.
But yeah, also for anybody curious, Billy's dog, because I can say this, Billy's dog was repoed from the previous handler because the person actually was told on by their spouse that they were escalating their anger management issues and basically overcorrecting the dog. And there's just a certain way when people interact with a dog, when their anger is at a certain level, you can tell in the dog's behavior. So once it's reported by another person, it's usually credible enough that we will go to the residence. We went to the residence, we're in the driveway, and he didn't even fight us. He just handed us the leash. I've repoed other dogs that where the person basically went and regressed back into substance abuse, and it turned into just a very bad situation in which the sheriff's office was included. There have been a few crazy ones. Yeah, no, and it's and it's sad and it sucks, but ultimately, the 2 of you, the biggest thing, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn on this, the well-being of the dog is paramount, and, obviously the handler too, but also the well-being of the dog is paramount. It's in a sense, the dog is helpless to a certain extent, food, healthcare, safety. If you keep the dog locked in the house, the dog only has the house to move around it, and it can't go, most dogs can't go unlock the fucking door and get out and, ask for help. So again, just if you're going in that route, make sure you're ready for it. That's the biggest thing. And there's screenings that are done for that, on both ends. So guys, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to talk to us today. Adam, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to call you out right now. I'm glad you got your camera situation under control, because that shit was fucking crazy in the green room. No, I'm just kidding. But no, Adam, go ahead. Where's your website? Where can people find you at, and how they find you on social media?
Yeah, so website, feraldynamics.com, pretty simple. Everything else, I have my personal page is the Canine Trainer, and then Feral Dynamics is every other social, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, even trying to figure that one out. All the fun. I know. But yeah, trying to figure out these social media things, but yeah, feraldynamics.com.
And then Danique, we know we can find you at the heroacademy.org, and same thing on the social media pages. Guys, thank you so much. I want to thank No worries. And I want to have you guys back on. I definitely want to have updates and, see how this collaboration's going. We'll come back together here in a few months and get updates from you guys. Thank you everyone for listening. Again, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, all the social media platforms. We're not on TikTok yet. He won't let me do it, but maybe we can convince him. It'll be fun. Yeah, Hugh on TikTok would just be a fucking disaster. We get banned instantly. Anyway, he'd say something. Yeah.
Honestly, China's not ready for that.
No.
Maybe
They'd be like, oh no, leave America alone. You crazy. Anyway, I'll take the hit on the fucking voice. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Guys, stick around. I'm going to go ahead and end this real quick. Everyone have a good night.